Ladies, gentlemen, gentle ladies, it's Spoot with Fort Misery Gaming. We got a Are You Picking Up This Waifu? Which you should. I mean, no, maybe. I don't know. We've got a new banner coming out. It is arguably one of the more popular outfits deciding to show up with us today. I'll bring her up on screen. We have Sorcerer Alice finally making her debut. Pretty interesting outfit. Yeah, let's dance around that one for a while because that's gonna get rough. So it is the in-between banner from Nier's Part 1 and 2. So it is the SR Tome Weapon of Bondage and Alice Sorcerer. That's the only job in this one. We also, going on to the Sinoalice database, we have Knowing, Law of Sandstorms, which is actually sick for a nightmare. If you're into Coliseum at all, it greatly decreases the hit rate of Coliseum aid skills for all enemies. So that essentially means that your support abilities are going to proc. Well, they proc about the same, but their accuracy goes down. So that can make or break some fights depending on. It depends on what your support abilities are. Like if you end up proccing support boon and stuff like that, a bit of a difference, significant difference. So the other things we have going on are the notices. What notices? We also have the Emil raid coming out tomorrow, but we're not worried about that one. Maintenance starts at 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, USA. That's different for everybody. So just to tell you what we're doing, so I'm going to go over the 3 things in the banner today and give you kind of an idea of if you should pull. And then we're going to do the Conquest, the actual raid event, and go over the new shop items tomorrow. So we've shown you Knowing Law of Sandstorms. She is a 5K nightmare. There aren't a whole lot of those floating around outside of the Royal Shop ones, and even those are kind of close. So she is good as gold for the time being. Great support skill. That is one hell of a thing. So let's look at the Tome of Bondage, or Restriction. It is the same item, they just changed the name from, global to JP and back and forth. Well, JP to global. So here we go. It has Incantation of Demolition, reduces the physical defense of 1 to 2 enemies by a great amount. Buck wild. So the thing about sorcerers and debuffers and healers is that if you have an item that hits 2 people, more often than not, you want to prioritize it over something with a slightly higher modifier. A great amount is like, I believe, a tier 2 upgrade. It might be a 3. I forget how many in total there are. I'll have to go back and look at those. But you're hitting potentially 2 people for a chunk of physical defense. Since people are mostly running breakers and crushers right now, that just means it's pure value. At legendary upgrade, it's almost 5,000 stats. So we can compare it to a couple of the other books that are out, just to give you sort of an idea of what to expect. So we'll just do all of the costs, base, and tomes. So Sinner's Manuscript, 4,300, Book of Brutality, 3,500, Knight's Diary, 3,500. So what do these look at L? So Sinner's Manuscript is 5,200, pretty good. Book of Brutality is 4,000, but it's also one of the starter ones, so not as impressive. Knight's Diary, 4,000. You've got Imperial Scouts Notes, 4,000. So for that extra 1K, it's a pretty impressive jump. Now, it is like 600 to 700 compared to some of them, and outside of the first one we showed you, not crazy higher. It's about 200 lower, but you're gonna start seeing these waves of 5K weapons, especially between this banner and the Replicant banner. So if you're trying to sort of pull for a bunch of things, I would definitely tell you to probably save for the Replicant banner unless you are hard-going Sorcerer. So free-to-play players, if you're a Sorcerer, this is a really good book to get. Just to compare it to... where is it? No, yeah, we went over the top 3 anyway. The Replicant banner has 2 sorcerers in them. The stats are, the books on those are about the same. They're slightly higher. I think one's 50, 100, and one's 52. I would have to double check. We can just show. Let's show! Beep, boop, 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 beep, boop. We have to swap over to JP. Oh, no, hold on. What am I doing? I'm being silly. We can just go look at the weapon. Alright, so I believe Young Nier is a sorcerer. He's the paid campaign event, so he doesn't come with a weapon. I believe Young Emil is a mage. Yona is the other sorcerer, if I remember correctly. So you get Favorite Cauldron. So this is a 6K tome. So while I would tell you to waifu chase for Alice if that's who you're really hurting for, that's almost a 6,400 stat. So just kind of keep those in mind. These are things that are happening. Like, they are a significant difference. And then you've got Kaine, who is a breaker. You've got Nier, who is a paladin. Devil and Popula, who are clerics. King of Assad, I believe, is a paladin. Yeah, he's got a cool little spear, though. So back to the banner at hand. I just sort of wanted to show you guys what was on the horizon so you could kind of gauge what you needed different. So just the Nier tome has 1,200 stats on this. The ability is decent on it, but like, this is a 2-charge account, so even if you only have a couple of SR books, this one is big. Don't go deep on it. The Nightmare is very, very good, but you don't. Like, it's a 5K Nightmare with a really good ability, but you're not chasing nightmares. Not generally. And the other thing is the Cleric Staff that's in this banner is pretty decent. You heal 2 allies by a great amount, and it has Barrier Break, which is meh. It's okay. But also almost a 5K staff. Just remember that, like, if you're not really hurting for power and you're free to play, pulling on these might not be a great idea with Replicant 2 weeks away, 2.5 weeks. I believe it's on the 16th of August. And I know that's a long time to wait. I get it. I understand. I haven't pulled on a banner since the Minstrel Mermaid, so don't feel bad. And I probably won't be pulling on any banner between now and Replicant, and probably not even Replicant. So I don't know what you want me to say. You got to make your own decision on that. It depends on what you're spending and if you're free to play, sort of what your guarantee are. Now, both of those items are double target, so they're pretty good. Especially on a support base. Like, doing 2 things at once is just pure value. It's great. What else do we have on this one? That's pretty much it. So, like, should you summon? No, I think with Replicant just around the corner with noticeably higher stats on the 2 items that are here, you have to sort of make your own call on this one. Like, if you're saving for part 2 of Nier or Replicant, then focus on that. Do that. Like, that's what it is. You got to chase who you want, not necessarily. I mean, you kind of also need to chase, like, your weapon. But the tome is really good, and if you're a sorcerer with some extra pulls, throw 2 or 3 down the hole and see if it works. Like, the high guarantee to get a job on a banner is not crazy good. Xant's video for Snow White Breaker proved that. He went real deep in that hole to not get anything. So you may not get lucky. Don't get really upset. But if you want to throw a couple multis on this and then completely save for either Replicant or the next Sorc banner, that's fine. If you feel like this one's good, it has a good Cleric Staff, it has a good Sorc Tome. Usually these banners have a couple of extra SRs that are added in global. The Mermaid banner added, I believe, 2 more. But keep an eye on it. I'll go back over it in the morning just to see if there's any, big updates. But you should take this one at least kind of seriously. Like, if you are hurting for tomes, I don't want to tell you to skip it. And if you're hurting for stabs, I don't want to tell you to skip it. Everybody else, the Nightmare's good, but pulling weapons that you're not really going to use may not necessarily help you out. So kind of look at where your weaknesses are and bang that out. So that's it for today. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and you guys have a good night. And don't get miserable.